This video is brought to you by Scopic.com. Get yours now.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is PhoneCage.com and today we're going to take a look at the Huawei P10, their latest flagship. They've been evolving from the P6, 7, 8, and 9, and the 9 and the 9 Pluses were a pretty good pair. I actually like them. And as an upgrade, I have a pretty good expectation for this, so let's get started. What you will see at the first glance is of course the design, and I would have to say that this is a pretty uninspiring design, especially with the antenna line right there that resembles that of the iPhone 7. The new design changes from the P9 to P10 actually feels like a downgrade rather than an upgrade. And thanks to reallocation of the fingerprint reader from back to the front, the P10 now has a full version of the Huawei logo, which is definitely not my favorite. Huawei has teamed up with Pantone to bring you a whole lot of different colors for your P10, and I would strongly suggest you to get any other color than silver since it looks just like any other cheap Chinese phones around. And that's a shame for Huawei because the build quality is actually really good. With the rounded corner, the grip is a lot better than the P9, and also those side bezels are really narrow, giving you an immersive feeling when you're watching video on your phone. But again, I do have to admit that it feels suddenly old after trying the Samsung Galaxy S8 with the Infinity display, but hey, this is $300 cheaper. Now, about the fingerprint reader moved to the front side, it's fast and accurate, but there are no handy gestures that I really like from the P9 and the P9 Pluses. But instead, you can use it as a back, home, and multitasking key in combo, allowing you to disable the soft key that takes up some space from your screen. It does take a little time to get used to, but once you do, it's super handy. And also this full HD panel is really good in quality and it brings you great outside visibility as well. Now, running up the whole phone is Huawei's proprietary interface called the EMUI coming at the version 5.1, based on top of the Android 7.0 Nougat. And this is by far the best version of the EMUI, coming with the app drawer that was lacking from the previous versions of the EMUI, and the status bar and quick toggles are a lot closer to that of a stock Android, now displaying what apps want you to see instead of the app icons themselves. One part that I'm not too sure about are the themes and the icons. They definitely need some polishing. But aside from that, there are some fun features from Huawei as well. You can use your knuckle to capture your screen. You can make it a square, freeform, or heart shape to select the areas that you want to capture from your phone. Moving up to performances, all the P10s come with the Kirin 960 and 4GB of RAM, and they are spectacular. Not only the CPU, but the software does a really great job. Everything runs so fast and so quickly, I don't remember the last time I've ever seen a lag on this phone. The performance and the optimization is so good that it almost feels as some kind of trick. And on top of that, the GPU is replaced with the newer Mali G71, which has received a great performance boost and does a great job in 3D gaming. However, the most important part about this phone should be the camera. Those dual Leica co-engineered cameras do a great job in both daylight and in low lighting conditions. Monochrome and RGB sensors work together to give you sharper and clearer photos, and unlike the last year's model, OIS is also included in the smaller one as well. There are some Leica-inspired color filters, standard, vivid, and smooth, and there's a new feature called the portrait mode that gives you a bokeh around the object that you're focusing in. The artistic effect gives you additional shift in the colors, and there is a beauty mode that you can adjust from level 0 to 10. There's also the classic wide aperture mode that you can control from f0.95 to f16, and low lighting photos are also incredibly bright, although details are not the best. But perhaps one of the most amazing features of the P10 is the selfie camera. That's the world's first Leica-enabled selfie cam. It also has portrait mode, art mode, and a good old beauty mode. And the wide-angle camera automatically adjusts to the numbers of people that you're trying to fit into the frame. And just like the rear camera, the selfie camera does a good job in low lighting condition, also aided by that screen flash. The next batch in the multimedia package is the speaker. Unfortunately, it does not have the dual stereo speaker, but the mono speaker on the bottom does a really good job. And without a doubt, the call quality is exceptional as well. Now, what I value a lot from the smartphones is its battery. It's got a 3200 mAh battery, and it's not exactly the most reliable battery in the world. I've used it for around a week, and the result kind of jumped here and there. One day it gave me 3.5 hours of screen on time, and the other day it gave me 5.5 hours when I was doing almost the exact same things on the phone. But overall, I think it's safe to say that it generally lasts about 4.5 hours, which is still pretty decent. Huawei opted for the supercharged technology, which they say is safe and fast. I didn't test the safe part, but it is fast. It can fully charge your phone within an hour and a half. Overall, the P10 is a great phone. Nice screen, great pair of cameras, amazing performance, not exactly great but still okay battery life, and a fast battery charging speed, along with the good speaker and call quality, and of course the great build quality. What bothered me is, again, the design. I really like the P9 and P9 Plus. They had a great industrial design and a good build quality. I wanted them to take the legacy of the P9 success to the P10, but this is a whole different phone now. I'm really not a fan of those who always claim that every single phone looks like the iPhone, but this looks like a step backward from the P9's not entirely, but somewhat original design. That being said, I have to conclude that the P10 is a step forward for everything else and a step backward for its design. So that was a quick look at the Huawei P10. It's an amazing phone if it can withstand your friends asking you if this is a new iPhone. And just another friendly life pro tip, avoiding the silver one is going to get you a lot less of those questions. Thank you always for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. You guys can meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. We'll see you guys later. Ciao.